Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and all of that good stuff. It's been a while since I did a sit down video. The last video I did, I was just telling you all why I was actually offline. Not offline, Michelle, what is this thing called? Why I wasn't shooting anything, and now I'm back and super excited because I have quite a few things lined up, a lot of interesting discussions lined up. So yeah, do I have anything on my teeth? I don't trust these dark colors, but how beautiful is that color? Nobody makes glasses like NYX. When I say nobody makes lippies like NYX does, best believe. Anyways, today's video is going to be a Christian version of this trend that's been going around of unpopular opinion. So I'm super excited. I got quite a few from Instagram. I put up a question thing, and I just had my own that I wanted to put out there. So I'm super excited to do this video. So while I do the video, I'll be beating my face to look like this. Video, I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe and join the family. If you're new, welcome. We're happy to have you. And if you're an OG subby, thank you for returning. Yeah, let's get into it. So my brows are already done because, you know, I don't do my brows on camera. Anyway, so I wrote down all the assumptions that I got from people, and I put down my assumptions. I put down my own assumptions, I don't know, just because I can. So I have some very interesting ones and some possibly triggering ones. So let's get into it. Oh, and I'm going to be doing my face because someone also asked for like a makeup tutorial. So I think I might just be incorporating those into my videos on YouTube. So multitasking. Okay, so one that I got quite often was Christians are the CEOs of judging, right? Someone said they believe that Christians judge a lot more than non-Christians do. And I think I agree and I disagree with this, honestly. I mean, obviously we can't take away the fact that we do have, sorry, I'm just picking out a color, that we do have very judgmental Christians. We can't not acknowledge that, if that makes sense, because it is a fact, and Christians do come with, not Christians, what am I saying? Some Christians do judge because they believe that they're holier than thou. Oh my God, I just remembered my friends and I used to call someone that, that they believe they're holier than thou and they think that they're Christ incarnate, which obviously is wrong because we're not called to judge. Oh, if it wasn't obvious, I'm Christian, which is why I found this video very interesting, because I do have non-Christian friends. I do have friends that subscribe to other religions, as well as those that just choose not to subscribe to religion, right? So I do acknowledge that. I do acknowledge that Christians do tend to be judgmental sometimes, and I can say that because I've experienced it as well. And I have spoken about it before, where I felt really judged in a church, and then I felt like I didn't belong there and I wanted to leave, and so on and so forth, right? But with that being said, I think a lot of people just don't like to be called out on things. Honestly, this is definitely gonna get some feathers ruffling, but I believe that. I think some people just do not like to be called out. When you do something wrong, when someone says, listen, I don't think this is the right way to go about it, you get angry and you misconstrue it as it being judgment and someone thinking that they're better than you, which sometimes is the case, but a lot of the times often isn't. And I have a friend like that, a very good friend of mine, Adelaide. I love her, and she will call you out when she believes what you're doing is wrong and when she knows that you know that what you're doing is wrong. And I really appreciate friends like that. I genuinely do. Friends that will tell you when you're going the wrong path. And I think a lot of the times we misconstrue that as judgment, and that's problematic. However, the fact that right and wrong, some people may argue that is socially constructed and all of the likes. That's a different discussion, a different topic to have, but that's just my take on it. I've said what I've said. You know what, I'm so excited to shoot this video. I don't even know why. I feel like I just like stirring up drama. Toxic trait. Okay, so the next one was Christians are allowed to mess up. I could not agree more with this. I feel like people forget Christians are human, man. Like, we're people the same way that non-Christians are, and we will mess up. And a lot of people don't understand that the church is not a place where saints come together. It's not a place where people who are perfect come together. It's literally defined as, okay, not literally, let me not lie, not, and even defined might be pushing it. Personally, I believe, let's do it like that. I believe that the church is a hospital for humanity. So when you go into a church, you are going to find broken people. When you go into a church, you're gonna find addicts, you're gonna find hurt people, angry people. And honestly, that's what God wants. Those are the people he wants. Those are the people he wants to heal. Those are the people he wants to build a relationship with. Does that make sense? Not to say that he doesn't want, like, you know, good Christians. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying those people are God's sheep and he wants us. Funny I said sheep. There's an assumption about sheep. I think I'm going to do it at the end. It's a little bit more hot. But yeah, so I think that that's a lot of misunderstanding that exists. So when you go into a church and then you find somebody who's mean, somebody who's an addict, someone who's a lot of things, okay? We tend to believe that this person is not the right kind of Christian, this person is not a real Christian. But what defines a real Christian? That's what I want to know. What defines a real Christian? Because I have seen a lot of, I don't know, I believe is misunderstanding. Okay, and another thing, I think that the difference between Christians and non-Christians comes with grace, right? We are the same. We are broken, we're damaged, we're hurt, we're angry, all of that stuff, right? But with the Christian, because we have a relationship with Christ and because we're working towards building a relationship with Christ, the difference is when we stumble and when we fall, God's grace catches us. And I think that is such a beautiful thing to, like, it's so beautiful. You can mess up, and before you mess up, God's already forgiven you. Before you come to him and say, I'm sorry, he's already forgiven you. He just wants you to realize you're wrong and then come to him and say, listen, I know I messed up here and I'm really, really sorry. How beautiful is that? Honestly, like, I feel like as Christians, sometimes we don't stop to think about how privileged we are to have a God that looks at us as perfect beings. One of my favorite verses actually is Songs of Solomon. I think it's 4 verse 7. I'll put it up here. It says, no, that's not the verse. That is, that is not the verse. The verse is, you're altogether beautiful, my darling. There is no flaw in you. Girl. Have you met me? Do you know me? I am the definition of flawed. So when God, who is the epitome of perfection, God who has no flaw in him himself, the God who is the God, tells me that there is no imperfection in me, girl, nobody can tell me different. Nobody can tell me that I have things in me that are wrong, because of my God. My God says otherwise, and oof, I find that really beautiful. And yeah, that's just my take on that. I've said what I've said. Okay. Unpopular opinion number 3. This one was my personal one, my own one, because I have some personal feelings towards this topic. I said Christians can be in relationships and date. Now, listen, I'm out here wanting a Boaz. I'm out here wanting, do I want a King David? I don't want a King David, but I want a Boaz, okay? Reference, Ruth and Boaz, okay? But anyways, I want a Boaz. You know what I mean? And how are you expecting me to find my Boaz if I'm not interviewing potentials? If I'm not looking at, if I'm not giving interviews? I must. It needs to be done. All jokes aside, I do believe there's nothing wrong with dating. Okay, here's my belief. I think there's dating, there's being in a relationship, and then there's courting. Dating is when you hang out with someone, when you chill with someone, when you go on dates with someone. That's what dating is. It doesn't necessarily equate to there being a title of boyfriend and girlfriend, right? I think that's there's a misunderstanding there. Dating means hanging out. That's literally what it is. It's a fancy term for hanging out. And then being in a relationship is obviously boyfriend and girlfriend, and there's a commitment. And then courting, that's what I'm after. Courting is you are in a relationship and I'm not going to say dating. You're in a relationship and you're seeing someone for the purpose of marriage. And that's how I think and how I function. I think dating is fine. I encourage it actually, because you're out there, you're seeing potential, you're seeing what you like and what you don't like without having to commit. I think that's cool and I think that's important, and I would encourage it actually. However, for me, after that dating phase, when I'm in a relationship because I see a future with you. I'm in a relationship because I want a future with you. And if you're not matching that vision, we have a little bit of a problem. But yeah, that's my belief. So I like the term courting. I like dating and courting because why must I waste my time with you? If I'm in a relationship with you, best believe. But yeah, that's just how I think and how I'm not going to say I was brought up, because that's not true. But it's what I believe. And I've had this discussion with my sister before, and an aunt was actually saying to us that in this society now, men tend to label women, and even some women label women as, I'm gonna say it, as hoes, and they slut shame these women because they're seeing dating multiple men in one go, hanging out with multiple men in one go. And they called names based off of that, which is absolute rubbish. If you go on a date with John, and then tomorrow you're with Terrence, and the next day you're with Brandon, there is nothing wrong with that girl. If at lunchtime John wants to take you for lunch, and dinner Jeremiah wants to take you for dinner, let him. Be treated. Don't let them stunt your growth, sis. At the end of the day, I think we're trying to please people, that we don't actually do things for ourselves, that we don't actually act on things before we think about other people. And that's just so messed up. I'm not saying don't think about other people, because that's important, obviously. Considering other people is important, but not when it comes to your own happiness, bro. I would rather braid grass. Literally. Just had to quickly cut my crease like this because it takes too much focus, and I thought it was just gonna waste time in the video. But anyways, so I don't know what number we're on, but the next one is Christians have freedom of speech. I was having a conversation with my sister the other day, and we're talking about how Christians, I'm trying to say this very gently. If you find offense, I'm so sorry. It's just my belief, and if you think I worded it wrong, please do let me know and we can fix it. I'm not trying to offend anybody. But I think that Christians don't really have freedom of speech. I think the minute that we speak up about our religion and openly talk about it to people, it's considered Bible bashing. However, non-Christians can voice out their beliefs of how ludicrous and ridiculous that they believe our religion is, how absurd they think the idea of an all-knowing, all-powerful entity that isn't human but is kind of human and is 3 in 1, how they think that's ridiculous. And it's okay. Honestly, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody believes in different things, right? However, I think with that, and those people that choose not to believe, and those that have different religions can speak about their religions openly and talk about their God openly, and it's not deemed, I don't know, offensive. But the minute that a Christian speaks up, I feel like it's automatically looked at as though we're trying to point out the wrong in other religions, or point out, and to be honest, there are people that do that. There are people that point out their beliefs of how they think other religions are wrong, and I do not condone that. I don't think it's correct. I think in whatever form people feel closest to God, let them do that, because at the end of the day, it's their relationship with their God and not yours. So I do believe, I think just different religions allow people to connect with their God in different ways, and that is okay. However, for those that don't judge other religions, I think we're just looked at as Bible bashers, and I have a big problem with that. I think in as much as other religions and other, I think the word is, I don't know what the word is. I'll put it up there. I don't want to say the wrong word. But those that choose not to believe are looked at as just expressing their freedom of speech and just voicing their opinions. And that's okay. But if that can happen, why can't Christians also have the same right? Why can't Christians also exercise that same right? I don't know if that makes sense. I just find it quite ridiculous that people pass judgment on Christians and then call those same Christians judgmental. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, to each his own. Yeah, let's move on to the next question. Okay, I'm just gonna take shimmers in this palette and just do my cut crease. Somebody said Christian girls are the best dribblers. Who hurt you, bro? Who hurt you? Okay, do you know what? I want you to comment down below if you agree with this opinion and why you agree with it, because it's it's quite interesting. I'm quite interested to know what makes people say this. But I don't know, hey? That's funny. But I don't know. I do want to hear people's opinion though, so let's hear it. Oh gosh. And the next one was, Christians don't know how to have fun. Okay, if you say so. I'm not gonna sit here and then try to convince somebody that, oh no, we know how to have fun. Oh, I know how to have fun. No, you're wrong about, I'm not gonna do that. Believe what you believe, and it's okay. It's alright, but I just don't agree with that assertion. The next unpopular opinion is from me, and I strongly stand with this. My relationship with my God is none of your business. I've said it. I said what I said. The thing is, I think social media has ruined us, because when you have certain feelings towards something, and if you don't express it loudly on social media, people tend to think that you're wishy-washy, right? That was my grade 7 teacher's favorite line. But let's move on. So just because I don't go on the TL and I don't talk about it all the time, I don't listen to strictly gospel music, then I am a lukewarm Christian. I think that is absurd. First of all, why are you so focused on my relationship with my God? I think that energy and that attention should be put towards your relationship with your God. And I keep saying your God because I think God is different to everybody. So my view of God may not necessarily be the same view that Charlene has, or Adelaide has, or Tanya has, or Patience has, or Chichi has, or my dad has. It's just God is, I always say that people experience people differently. So the same way that my sister experiences me will not be the same way that my friends would experience me. Does that make sense? I'm the same person, but I'm different people to different people. So I think it's the same with God. Like, so I keep saying my God and his God or her God or their God. Yeah, I think spend that energy on your relationship. Put that fire into your relationship. And I don't know how to say this in a polite way. Mind your business. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna walk to heaven and have a reference letter of people that believe that I acted the right way, the Christian way, and they believed I'm a Christian, or I did things the way that they should be done, so they believe I should enter heaven. No, that's where you have it wrong. It's my heart. Like, literally, Christianity is about the condition of the heart, and not the way that you portray yourself to people. It's not the way that people view you. It's not. And that's why people have it wrong. They feel like I need to portray a religious persona in order for me to be a true Christian. And that's absolute hogwash. It's not true. It's incorrect. Obviously, there is a certain way that Christians are supposed to conduct that will invite other non-Christians to potentially look at the religion and think whether or not it's something they're into, but I don't think it's an act. I think it's literally a way of life. And if you disagree, that's on you. The next unpopular opinion said that Christianity was brought by slavery. And I'm assuming this person is talking about to places like Africa where the religion did not originate. And that is true. That is very, very true. You can read up on the history, but to sum it up, it's how Europeans entered Africa, where they were saying we're bringing religion, and it was a lot of missionaries that came with the religion and wanted us to have the right religion, because I'm assuming ours was too barbaric, and so they brought religion here. And they used it. There's a quote that Desmond Tutu says, which I think is so brilliant. It's so brilliant. He's basically just talking about how they told us to shut our eyes to pray, and by the time we opened our eyes, they had our land and we had the Bible. I'll put it up here. It's so brilliant. So yeah, it's true. It is definitely how it did come to Africa, and it's a sick and disgusting way. I will acknowledge that. But at the end of the day, it's here, and it's something I believe in, and it's a God I subscribe to, and a religion that I am fully devoted to. So that's really all I have to say on that, but I am very interested in discussion. So if you have certain beliefs that differ from mine on this particular topic, please by all means either email me, DM me on Instagram, or even comment it down below just to get a conversation going. I love that. I love having conversations with people about it. So yeah, let me know. Okay, so the last one was basically just talking about how the unpopular opinion is that Christians are sheep that just do as they're told and don't question why. I mean, I agree and I disagree with that. I think I'm on the fence. Reason being, I do believe a lot of people just subscribe to the religion. I do believe there are some churches that tell people that this is the way we're supposed to serve God, and they don't question why. And that's good and bad, in the sense that they are false prophets. There are people that I think are just hell-bent, that's the perfect phrase, hell-bent on just driving people the wrong way. Like, literally there's no other explanation as to why someone would think it's okay to lead God's people astray. I think it's something within, like literally there's no other explanation. And I think that's when it becomes dangerous, where we're quick to believe something a leader of a church says and we don't have knowledge of the Bible to back it up, or just we don't have conversations with God enough to know whether it's wrong or it's right, or it's what he wants us to do, or what man is misconstruing and messing up in order for them to gain something, and I think that's when it's a bad thing. But I also don't believe it's necessarily a wrong thing. Like, let's say you're in the right church, you're learning the right things, right in quotation marks. I don't think you necessarily always have to question everything you hear. I don't think there's anything wrong with questioning, because I question too, which is how I've gotten to understand atheists' point of view, and why I've gotten to understand why other people just choose not to subscribe to Christianity. And I think that's okay. I don't know if it's right, but I think it's okay. I think it helps you understand the religion for yourself, rather than just taking it at face value based on what somebody else said. That way you know God for yourself, and not as someone else has portrayed him to be for you. Which is why I don't think it's ever anyone's job to try and bring someone to Christ. Nope. I did not phrase that correct. We are supposed to bring people to Christ. I don't think it's our job to force a relationship between someone and Christ. I think God will always reveal himself to somebody in his time, and when he knows that that person is ready, and when that person and God have met, then it'll be like a lot of people, a lot of women in particular church women actually have tried to bring their non-believing partners to God, and because this person never had a one-on-one with God, this person didn't meet God in their point of need, and when God wanted them to meet, they never commit. So you're pretending and you're playing church, you're playing religion, the role of a religious person, but not really having the relationship with Christ. And that's the danger of that. So in as much as we are supposed to evangelize and let the whole world know about Christ, and we should proudly, I think it's also important to realize that in order for that relationship to work, it's not your doing. It's not you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a hard lesson to learn, but you need to remember that. But yeah, so I think this is a very, very important opinion. I actually want to hear what people have to say on this. So please let me know. I'm actually going to DM this person and have a conversation with them, because I found that very, very interesting. It was one of the most interesting ones I ran into. Let me just quickly do my lashes and the rest of my face, and then I'll just close off the video. Anyways, that brings us to the end of our video today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're trying to grow our family. We're doing so good. I think we're pretty close to 300, but actually let's make this a road to 500. Why not, right? Why not? Let's push road to 500. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and do all that good stuff. Have a blessed week.